Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bookish Lady Night, where we get a look behind the book. Today I am joined by the fabulous Fox sisters, Dakotah and Mackenzy. Both have solo writing careers, but together they are a phenomenal team, and they wrote one of my absolute favorite series, which is the Bassett Brothers Bourbon Stony Creek, along with their Christmas release that just came out in November called Snowed Under, which was adorable. Love it. It's Hallmark, but spicy, so definitely check that one out. Solo, Dakotah's writing includes Seattle Hawks Ice Hockey Series, and I read Scores of the Heart, which was my first introduction to Dakotah's writing as her solo career. And then Mackenzy has a lot of books that I absolutely love. The main series is NOLA Rebels, which is an MC series with Manny coming out today, which if you have not read that, definitely pick that one up. It was highly anticipated and begged for by several readers, and they are my first guest for my days leading up to Christmas. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. So it's kind of interesting because like where I'm at, it's like super early in the morning, and where they're at, it's super late at night because they're joining us from Australia. So I appreciate you working with me to schedule this interview today.
No, we're so excited.
Yes, thank you for having us. We're very excited.
Let's start. We'll talk about a little bit writing together, since you do that and you have some great books out, like I said, which you can binge read them now. It's a complete series. But how was co-writing for you? Did each of you take one of the characters and then like mesh it together?
I'm like, when we first started writing together, we had the idea for the Fortress of the King and Queen. That's our Mafia series. And we're like walking along because we walk our dogs, and that's where we get all our ideas.
Yeah, we hash
and
it
I'm
out.
like, I had this idea. And then I started telling her about that series. And do you want to write with me? And then
I was like, that sounds really good.
and that's how it all happened. And yeah, the latest series, the Stony Creek, we just kind of read each other's, and then one do a chapter.
Yeah, one
and
takes
then,
the lead, and then the other, like,
I might finish off,
just works pretty well.
It's a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, I love that. So, who started writing like solo first, or did you both start kind of at the same time?
Mackenzy started first.
Yeah, I started writing, like, I've always written books like my entire life, ever since I was a kid. But I first published in 2020. So I wrote Steel during lockdown of 2020. And I just did it as like a little hobby, something to do. Always wanted to write a motorcycle romance.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's so cool. How do you pick your locations? Have you like traveled a lot in the US, or did you just kind of go, I'm going to set these books here and set these books there when you both write?
Yeah, like I only just went to the US this year, so I've never been to Arizona, and it's one of the places that I really want to go. But I just kind of pick cool places. I just pick a cool place,
like the place we like the sound of.
Yeah, like for the Stony Creek, we pick Tennessee.
Yeah,
and then the NOLA Rebels, obviously New Orleans. It's just places that we like the look or sound of. But I went to New York and DC, for a Polygon. So yeah, that was really exciting, and I loved it. I love the US. Like I could just come and live there. I want to be there.
When you guys are planning out series, either solo or together, do you do like a mood board or an outline, or are you more pantsers?
Well, for the Bassett Brothers, we kind of mapped it out quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like we kind of picked the tropes for each couple.
Yeah, and kind of a basic
idea, but we are
pantsers.
Through.
Like, don't be fooled.
So we have a bit of a loose idea, but things happen as they go along. We're like, I didn't know I was going to do that until it's happening.
Yeah.
It
seems to work for us.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we don't heavily map it out, do we?
Not
really?
heavily, no.
We just have a broad idea, and then we just go where it takes.
We just wing it, as we say in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So how have you been celebrating your milestones in your writing?
Well, I'm looking forward to having some time off over Christmas. It's been a busy year. Like, I think we just tallied up. We had 17 books released this year.
Yeah.
17!
I saw that.
Like, now I know why.
You guys don't sleep. You're just up all the time.
We don't sleep.
So we need to crack the champagne soon. So.
Which we haven't done yet. I haven't done that yet, but because Manny's releasing today for you guys, but it's end of the day in Australia. But yeah, it's been It's been really great. Yeah, but we haven't really celebrated.
No,
Yeah.
not really. Because then you're diving into the next book kind of thing.
Exactly.
So we don't really.
Yeah.
It's continual. Yeah.
It never stops.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have to pop out some champagne and celebrate. Well, that kind of leads me into the next question. So this is more of a fun question. So what's your favorite beverage and snack while you're writing?
Well, we're like tea girls, aren't we? Tea girls through and through. Yeah, see, wherever we are,
We really don't
we have cups of tea. We don't really drink very much at all. So we like a little glass of Moscato every now and again.
Yes.
But we just drink tea all day long.
Yeah. And snacks we like pretzels or
something to crunch on.
something to crunch
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And then my go-to drink is usually tea.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gotta have the tea.
How do you guys deal with like the heavier things in writing or triggers? Do you struggle with writing those types of elements in your stories, or do you kind of disassociate and write them? Like, how do you guys deal with them? Especially for Mackenzie, for sure. She has a lot of trigger stuff
There's
through her book.
I do have a lot going on. Yeah, I can kind of disassociate with heavy stuff, but I feel like some of the, like when I wrote Manny, there's a lot of emotion in that book. Like there's a lot of emotional, and I get really choked up. Like this book is just really from the heart.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to give away any spoilers, but some of the drama that happens and the darker stuff that doesn't really bother me. But like when a man cries, it's like, oh my god, this is killing me. Like I don't know.
Yeah. No, I had tissues by me when I read that book. I was like, oh.
So yeah, I've got pretty good at kind of separating it, but you know, things do get to me, especially when I'm writing, like say one of the bikers as like a child or as a teenager, and then you know something might happen, and it's like, this is like really tearing me apart.
And I'll be like, "Are you crying over there? Like, what's going on?" Because I don't know what she's writing, and she's like, "I just wrote this scene."
Yeah, but like especially because they're fresh in my mind, Nevada and Riot for sure. I was like,
yeah,
it's pretty intense sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
a lot of research goes into some of those scenes, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of background stuff that you've got to be on point
to do.
with.
So, what led you to write like the MC type series books?
Well, like back then I was reading a lot of motorcycle romance, and like back in 2020 and further beyond, but I was just like, there just wasn't enough of like connection romance. There was a lot of like action, there was a lot of biker stuff, and there was a lot of like smutty stuff, but there just wasn't like anything that was like a real romance that I was reading. And I'm like, I just want to make it more about the connection, like the couples first and the MC second. And I know some readers don't like that, but I mean, I've been really lucky. My readers seem to love it. So that's it's all about the love story. That's what I say.
Yes, exactly. And then, do you like hockey? Is that what led you to your series, or how did you start that one?
I do now, because I had to research it so much, but I wasn't really into hockey before, but now I absolutely love it. I'm always like watching stuff on YouTube, and I'm just like, this is like, I would like kill to go to a live hockey game, maybe when we're in America. I don't know.
Next year.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I think I obviously I know about hockey, but I've never really like paid attention to it. I ice skated, so I was like, I should like it, but I hadn't. And then I started reading hockey romance, and now I'm like, I love hockey. Like, I want to learn more about it and watch it. So yeah, I had same thing.
She's really good. Like, she knows all the positions. I don't really know them all. She knows like heaps of stuff about like, hockey, all the proper names for things. I'm like, you know a lot.
I actually write the hockey action in the books. So not just
It makes them more authentic because you know the background of it, and so the people that are hardcore fans will like feel that, and then the people that aren't are going to learn about it. So that's always a good.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment that you can recall that you felt like really proud with your writing journey?
There's been so many moments. So many moments. Probably like when I got invited to like my first author signing, it was like a pretty big deal. It was in Melbourne and it was at Rare, and I was just like, bewildered. I was like, like people coming up, like readers coming up, and it's like, you know, they come to see you. It's just amazing. So that was like a real aha moment, and I was next to Wanda, and that really helped. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was really fun.
You do. Yeah, absolutely. I think when we traveled together this year was a really kind of big aha moment for me, because that was a really big deal for us to like leave our dogs and leave our families,
Fly across the world.
We went to Rare Edinburgh, and I was helping Mackenzie, like I was assisting, and it was just cool, like just meeting the people and just talking, and just it was just amazing. It was such a feel good thing. It was like, wow, this is like really real. So it was amazing. Yeah, but even like milestones are sometimes just finishing the book, even though too.
Yeah, that's true.
I sometimes get to the end and I go, I'm so glad. I'm so proud of myself.
But you have to celebrate the little ones and the big ones for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So does writing energize you, or does it make you tired?
It's very energizing.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, we love it. I don't think the writing part is really the hard part.
It's all the other stuff.
It's all the other stuff you've got to keep on track of. Yeah, I definitely find it energizing, even quite relaxing sometimes, because you just dive into it, and then it's like a whole nother world, doesn't it? It takes you away from everything
from the real world.
Yeah, like the routine and your humdrum, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like that for readers too. Like we can just escape our issues for right now. Exactly. So do you have any like writing kryptonite that will like derail you or set you off course from what you're focusing on when you're writing?
I'm really bad with my phone. Like I get distracted very easily. So she always takes my phone away.
I'm like, what are you doing? Because we work across from each other. I'm like, what are you doing over there? You're supposed to be writing, and she's on her phone. Sometimes she's researching. Sometimes like, look, I'm researching. But
I do procrastinate, especially when I'm getting right to the end of the story. I'm like, I'll just leave that, because like I don't want it to end. So I'm like, I'll just leave that, and then I'll, do something else. And she'll be like, what are you doing?
Put that phone down. I keep threatening her that I'm going to put that app on her phone. Lone Wolf. I just take it away sometimes.
Yeah, like put it in the lockbox.
Yeah, that's
you can have it back when you reach your word count.
Confiscate it.
So do you have any, or is it same kind of thing, just distractions from your phone?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I must.
She's better at sticking to her schedule.
Yeah, but maybe because I don't think I pile as much on as what she does. I just kind of go at my pace, and I don't. Yeah.
She doesn't get derailed.
I don't push the I don't push the boundary. I know my capabilities and my limits, and I clearly don't.
So you sound a lot like me, Mackenzie, because I will pile on a bunch of stuff, and then I'll be like, why am I so
everything. And she has a meltdown, and I'm like trying to
put it all back together.
You're gonna be fine, okay?
That's totally me for sure. So what is the most difficult thing about writing for you?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. Sometimes the time factor for me is there's so many other things to do, isn't it? If you were just writing the book, it would be fine, but there's just marketing and there's just endless other stuff. I find
you need more hours in the day.
I need more hours in the day.
I think the hardest part, it's hard. Like the hardest part, I think for me, like I do a lot of self-worry, because I'm like, because my series is so big, I'm like, I don't want to sound repetitive. I don't want readers to get bored. And so I'm always like thinking of new ways to obviously keep plots and things going. And so I do a lot of internal.
Yeah, that can be hard when you're trying to plot out the next thing. I get stuck there sometimes too, and I'm like, what am I going to do next? Sometimes it flows really easily, and then other times it doesn't. And then I just tend to just leave it for a little bit, like take a few hours, like take a break. Yeah, and then just do something fun, and then come back to it.
And then usually the ideas will start flowing.
Yeah. You just got to get into that mindset, don't you? Of and then you just go again.
So then on the flip side, what's your most favorite part about writing?
I think I just love seeing the story come together. And I
Yeah.
love giving the characters, like especially the main characters, I love giving them their moment kind of thing. So, and like seeing it all come together, like from when you first start, like the chapter, and then it starts flowing, and then there's chapter after chapter, and then you just get to the end and you just like, it's just a feel good, isn't it?
Yeah. And like in the Stony Creek series, like
that's what I was thinking of.
We're writing like the first book, and Georgia, Blue, and Hudson are the last book, but they're in it the whole way through, and you're like, Georgia's coming.
She's going to get her happiness.
It's really exciting because you think she's going to get her happiness too, but it's 5 or 6 books away. So that's always fun.
Like that last book, it was so cute and good, and I was just like,
love them. Yeah, I know. She's a bit of a favorite.
Yeah, she's got to have her happy ever after.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it was kind of bittersweet. I'm like, now it's over.
I know. And now we're like, should we do a Christmas edition?
What can we do
next? Yes, you should do it. I mean, I know it's now like almost Christmas, but like next year you could do like a surprise novella. I would totally love that.
Yeah, we've been known to do those kind of things, so we will never say never.
What's the most difficult thing for writing the opposite sex for you?
Probably some of the dialogue, like getting into a male biker's head. I mean, I'm pretty good at it now, but in the beginning, I'm like reading through going,
would a guy say that?
He wouldn't say that.
How would he say it? Yeah.
So, yeah, they do, like, my bikers are obviously like a lot of slang, and sometimes I get picked up on grammar, but I'm like, no, that's just how they talk. Like, they miss words
out. They shorten words and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They don't talk
kind
of thing.
Yeah, sometimes the dialogue is quite difficult, isn't it?
It's really funny, though. Like, I think I actually prefer writing the male's point of view than the female. I don't know why. Like, not all the time, but I just love, like, writing my biker boys. I just love getting into their heads, like, especially the grumpy ones. Break them down. Yes, we will break them.
Yes, that moment where they crack. It's great.
Yes. They've all got a breaking point,
for sure.
Great. So, what's the hardest type of scenes for you to write?
Probably, like, for me, like, heartbreaking ones. Like, not even so much.
I know.
Like, even violent scenes are sort of okay. But, like, again, like
so
emotional
really
scenes
rips your heart out.
Like, if someone's been bullied or something like that, I find that really hard. Like, I'm like just trying to get through it. Like, at the beginning of Riot's book, there's a really traumatic scene in his, like, past, and it's kind of a whirlwind. So I find I really do get caught up in the emotional part of it. It's not so much the physical side of what's going on. It's like how they deal with it afterwards. So that's hard for me.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you when you have the emotional?
I think so, yeah. I find it quite difficult, yeah. Even in, like, my hockey, you know, when I'm writing quite dramatic scenes, you know, something's happened. Like in my second book, ice hockey book, Ashton and his dad don't get along, and there's quite a bit of conflict, and it's quite heartbreaking for him because he wants his dad to accept him, and he kind of doesn't. Yeah, he wants him to be proud of him, and it just doesn't really happen for him, and it's just like so heartbreaking. It's like, just, you know, that's kind of real life for some people. So it's not all,
and that's true.
It's not all roses. Sometimes you have to go there. No, you don't want to.
Yeah, it's like part of their journey to get them to where they're going to end up, and their mentality when they're going to be ending the story. So then on the flip side, what's your most favorite scene to write?
I love writing, like, sassy, you know, like when the female gets really sassy. Georgia Blue, anyway.
Oh, she was so fun to write.
All of my female biker characters are all pretty sassy, come to think of it. But, and also, like, the moment where he kind of, like, if he falls first, I love writing those scenes.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Like, gotcha.
Riot. No, Riot. Nevada. I feel like Nevada was like, you did not expect that from Nevada. Like, the way he acts.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you have this book, like, because all the other books, he's, like, flirty and stuff, and then you have his book, and I was like, dang.
Yeah. He's just straight there. Exactly. It's like, she's it, I'm done. And that's why I pushed his book back a little bit, because my alpha reader was like, we can't do his book too soon, Mackenzie, because he needs to grow up a little bit. And I think she was right. So we sort of placed him at, I don't even know what book he is, book 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So he could be too early on. He had a bit of growing up to do, but yeah,
He definitely gets there.
he gets there.
Yeah, that's great. So you said you've written for a long time. Did anything inspire you to start writing, or was it just something that you just always kind of did?
Yeah, like it's something that we both kind of always done, like on and off. But I was like really unhappy in my job, and then when COVID happened, you know, we had all this free time, and it was like I'm really just going to sit down and write a book. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. But I've always had the passion for it. It just didn't really have the guts, and then one day I just did.
Yeah. And then for you, was it the same kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of similar, really. Yeah, we're kind of we've always worked in like different jobs and like worked for other people, but in the back of our minds, and we've always talked about it, like working for ourselves and doing something for ourselves, and just having more freedom in our lives.
Yeah.
So
and just being like happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we were so unhappy in our day jobs.
Yeah, we had really demanding jobs and stuff, and
very stressful. And honestly, nothing about writing is stressful.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
To get out of like corporate mainstream, I think was a big kicker for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To
big incentive.
do more with our writing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's really great. Okay, so this one's kind of a hard question because you both have several books and they're like your babies in a way, or like you might not be able to pick a favorite. I've heard this from authors. But if you could pick, who would be your favorite book boyfriend or book boyfriends?
You can go first.
Can I? Let me have a think. It's a really hard one, isn't it?
It is really hard. There's a lot of good characters.
There is a lot of. I'm like going through all the Bassetts in my head.
Would you like me to go first?
I know who you're going to say. Go on. I know who you're going to say.
Well, Steele will always be my book baby because it's thanks to him that I write full time. Like his book was the one that went, you know, super wild. So he will always have a special place in my heart. But I've also got a very soft spot for Marco in Fortress of the Heart, which is book 3 in the Medici.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something about him. It's Beauty and the Beast vibes.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's really hard. Like,
it is so hard, yeah.
Especially with the Bassetts, it's like I could just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I have a soft spot for Taylor James in my Seattle Hawks. Like out of my, books, I think Taylor, because he's such a sweetheart. He's like a real cinnamon roll. But yeah, I just love him. But I think Angelo in our Fortress books, I love writing Angelo Medici. He's the Mafia Don. So that's like one extreme to the other.
It's very, very different.
But yeah, from my own books, I think Ashton, yes, I'll get this right.
So do you know, I know you guys said you're more Panthers, but do you know when you're going to lead up to like a huge plot twist? Or do you are you walking along with the characters and then they're like, here you go?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. There was a scene I wrote in our Mafia series I think it was Rocco. Is it Rocco's book? Yeah, where something blows.
Fortress of the Damned.
Yeah, Fortress of the Damned. Something blows up, and like he had no idea. I had no idea. And
well, you wrote it, and I was reading it.
She was
what?
reading it,
what is going on?
And something blows up, and Rocco's like, oh.
And she's like, I just wrote that in there.
I just wrote it in.
It's really good, but like I'm scared.
Things are exploding, and it was pretty,
So we never really, there's quite a few plot twists in our books together.
Yeah, there is,
and even in my Nola series, there's a few plot twists. And honestly and truly, I never plan them. It just happens. I'm just like, this is going to happen.
In Maddie, I won't say what happens for people that don't want to spoil it, but something really major happens. And Em just said to me, I think it was only yesterday, she was like, I had no idea that was going to happen until I was actually writing it. Like the major thing that happens to him. And I was like, what? She's like, I didn't even plan that.
That's how I get my best ideas, so I just roll with it.
Yeah, no, I totally know what part you're talking about.
Grab your tissues.
Definitely. So what is your favorite archetype or personality of a character?
I think I like really kind of good, solid, like honest characters.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if the guy's a bit gruff and whatnot, but he's got to have a good heart.
Yeah.
So, like even in like Georgia Blue and Hudson's like quite grumpy throughout.
But you can tell he's a good guy.
You can tell. But then when you get to his book, you sort of see this into the depths of him, and you realize he's like a really good guy deep down.
He's just had
yeah.
a past or whatever.
Yeah. He's trying to find.
That's the great
his
thing about
happiness.
getting into their heads. When you finally get to their
To
book,
their book,
then
yeah.
you start to see like why he's this way and
Yeah.
why he's been single for so long and why things haven't worked out. And it's really cool. And even when we write our anti-heroes, like in the mafia,
Yeah.
like even though they're kind of bad, they're kind of good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't write like really awful
No.
main characters.
Even Angelo Medici, like he wants like, you know, the best for his like city and stuff,
Yeah,
doesn't he? And
yeah.
in his family and the people around him. So
Yeah.
he's sort of
But
a
he still
baddie,
kills
but
people.
but only like the bad people.
Yeah, only bad people. Doesn't kill good people.
Hudson reminds me of a toasty marshmallow. That's what I call them.
Oh,
He's
I love
toasty on the outside, but he's like ooey gooey on the inside.
Yes,
Totally.
love that. That is Hudson. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. No, I don't think I could pick. I love all of those guys. I have like a reverse harem.
just one of each is fine.
Yeah, one of each. I'll take one of each. So how do you plan your writing? Because I know you guys, I think you're doing this now completely full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you plan out your day with writing? Do you have like a word count or a certain number of scenes?
We try and do a bit of a like a weekly, like on a Sunday, don't we? We sort of have like a little whiteboard. It's like a magnetic. It's pretty a basic thing, just with Monday to Sunday, and we just go through what we're doing for each week. Like if we've got appointments and stuff like that, and we just work through each day, don't we? And how many chapters we've got to do
On certain days.
because like on a Monday we don't really write. We do a bit of admin stuff, and then we travel in. We're at our mum's house now, so we travel to see her every week. It's about 30 minutes away. And then we just do stuff like with her, but we do a bit of admin stuff. So we don't like say write on a Monday, but then we'll back home on Tuesday. So we'll say, can you write a chapter in the afternoon? And then we kind of go through each day like that.
Yeah,
don't
so we have like a word count that changes
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah. Sort of changes what we're doing, which is good. So flexibility is good. I'm like, can you do 3 chapters on Sunday? Well, can you do 3 chapters today? And
If
she's
you
like,
take my
"Oh,
phone away,
yeah."
Yeah, I think that's the key for everybody. Like, take our phones away. We will be way more productive in life if we don't have them.
It's terrible sometimes,
It's
isn't
bad.
it?
Yeah.
Especially with Black Friday.
Yeah. So how long does it usually take for you from when you like start a book to when we get it to finishing it?
It probably takes us. Is it less than a month or?
Yeah, probably the
That-
joint books
yeah, the
together
joint
because we
books-
write those pretty fast because there's both of us doing it.
Yeah.
And then editing can take like about 3 weeks, and then
Yeah.
there's a bit of a process.
It's probably 3 weeks to write it together.
Yeah, and then 3 weeks for editing. So probably
Yeah.
like 8 to 9 weeks.
Yeah.
which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit longer
Yeah. Yeah.
because we have beta readers and
Yeah, that's true.
and
They
then
have to have it for a couple of
proofreading
weeks.
and
Yeah.
all the processes. But yeah, it's a lot quicker when we write together because we only have half a book to write each.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So when you're doing it solo, is it usually like maybe double that time?
Yeah. So usually I like try and write like quite far in advance, but this year's been really because I've released so many books.
It's been really hectic.
It's been hectic. So
Yeah.
I'm giving myself like longer to go through the process in 2025.
Yeah.
Not so scatterbrain, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What do you feel makes a great story?
I think like just getting to the heart of your characters, like
Yeah.
early on, like people just don't want to. I don't feel like as a reader, I want to kind of get really sucked in from right from the get go.
Yeah, you kind of want them to pull you in from
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Like
from the start.
I don't like waiting a really long time, like to find out what's
Yeah.
going on. Do I like you or don't I like you? So, yeah. Want to add to that?
No, you silly.
No. Yeah. So do you enjoy the process of designing your covers, or is that like a daunting task?
No, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's
yeah.
really fun. We just trawl through photos of beautiful
Yeah.
men.
I know, and Em's really good at finding photos.
It's a
She's
challenge.
like, what do you think? And she sends me all these photos, and I'm like, all these men, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
I think I found all but one of the Bassett brothers like photos.
Yeah, those covers, like they're the couples on each book, and they're and they've got the real small town vibes. No, she's really good at finding photos.
They're pretty good at that.
She found all my hockey couples too. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
So can you find me the next?
I don't design the covers. I just find the photos.
No, we just find the photo and then we have a cover designer. So
but it's really fun.
The process is fun, seeing it come to life. Like you see the photo and then send you some proofs, and then all of a sudden it's got your name on it, and it's like, oh, this is it's very exciting. It is. Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun. Yeah, I feel like I'm like the artist mindset, so I would have fun with that.
Yeah.
So what do you feel is the most surprising thing you've learned on this writing journey?
How
I was gonna say how much you can get done.
Yeah, how much you can get done on little sleep.
Yeah.
No, just I don't know, like the whole I still pinch myself like that we do this.
I know. When you tell people, they're like, that's so cool, you know?
And you're like, yeah, it really is.
Like,
Totally is.
Because it's not like a common thing that people say, oh, yeah, I'm an author. And people are
always
always
very
fascinated.
And like I never used to tell people, I used to be like, oh, you know, keep it a secret.
Yeah.
You don't want people in your small town knowing what you do. And now I just like don't care. I'm like, yeah, I'm a romance author. And they're like, oh, wow. Like, so, and there's like my lash lady, she's like getting all into the books now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So,
about it.
Yeah.
Are any of your books local in bookshops near you?
Yeah, we just did a drop off on. It's an online store, actually, isn't it?
Yeah,
the one that we dropped off to. I think it was on Friday. Yeah, it was last week anyway. That was a local store, and it was really, really sweet that she reached out to us.
And then we sent about 4 orders off one to Queensland, and then one in our home state. 3 other bookstores in our home state. So things are starting to
things are move,
which is so nice.
Yeah, that's great.
On the shelf, it's like
it's really cool.
Isn't it? It is
cool. And you know, supporting indie authors. You know, they could ask anyone to stock their books, but it's really nice when you kind of get included and your books are getting out there more. And
they're sitting next to like Elsie
I
Silver.
know, and you just like, go, "Whoa, this is amazing!"
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. We out here that there's two main bookstores that are like they feature everybody, but they feature indie authors, and so I always like to go there and buy books because not that there's anything against traditional publishing, but they're everywhere. You know, there's Barnes and Noble and there's lots of bookstores, but I love that they have like books that are authors that maybe I've never heard of, and then I can like get their book, and usually they're signed, so I love that. I love books that are signed. Like, that's my thing. So
and it's always good, like trying to, you know, like going in those places and discovering
new authors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's what I like about the smaller bookstores. We don't have very many here, and like to get to those bookstores, I have to drive an hour and a half from where I am to go there. Do you pull in attributes or personalities from people you know for any of your characters, or they just strictly come in your mind and they're like, we're here?
Yeah, kind of just come in to my mind.
I don't really try and unless it's like someone I don't like. Sort of.
Do off with them.
Yes. Off with their heads. No, not really. We kind of just pull it in from from wherever it comes from. Inspiration.
Yeah. That's good. So do you have like the best time of day that you write? Is it usually like in the morning, or is it just kind of any time the inspiration sparks?
Well, I'm a bit of a morning, daytime, and I can't really write at night. I'm not a night owl. Mackenzie's a bit more of a night owl. Yeah. She can write whenever. She'll fall asleep with her laptop, you know, and wake up and it's still sitting on her body. But I'm more of a daytime.
We generally write during the day.
We generally do write during the day.
And stop.
Yeah. We try
in the
and
afternoon.
We try and have boundaries, but we pushed the boundaries this year, and we're not
don't have any.
we're not pushing any more boundaries next year. No.
Your New Year's resolution is restructuring your writing.
With the laptop, have a cut off, and that's it.
Yes, I think for me, being on the other end of it, it's like I am like 3:00 in the morning and I'm still listening to a book, and I'm like, oh, I should probably go to bed.
I should get some sleep now.
You know you're going to pay for it in the morning, but you just can't.
You don't care at the time, but later on, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I just have one more chapter. I have to get through one more chapter.
No,
Exactly.
it's so bad.
So what is the best part about being a writer for you both?
I think it's just having like that freedom, isn't it? Having the freedom you can go anywhere, you can be anywhere. You just need your iPad or your laptop. You can be on holiday, you can be at home, you can you can take it with you. That's what I think is so versatile about being a writer. You can I love the escape. Like you really just get to retreat.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
You know, because we are quite reclusive by nature. We're pretty quiet. We're pretty introverted. We're not overly outgoing, are we? Really. So, but it's definitely an escapism, and you know, all your experiences and things, and all your emotional scenes, like stuff going on in your life that you can kind of just unleash.
You can kind of relate to,
and it's like therapy sometimes. It kind of takes you
cathartic for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great being in those worlds. It's like when you're reading a book and you get really into that world. It's kind of the same when you're writing. You're just really in that world of what you're writing about. Yeah, you're very immersed.
Well, they say readers live 1,000 lives. I feel like writers do too, because you write 1,000 lives. Like,
for sure,
you write all these amazing, different, dynamic characters.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of layers, definitely.
Yeah. So who was your first, well, that might be hard, I don't know if you remember, but like what was your first like book or introduction to romance, the romance genre?
It was probably 50 Shades. Yeah, like I started reading the Twilight books, you know, like when everyone did. Yeah, when it went a little crazy. So that's kind of what got me back into reading. And then the first romance ones, were probably the 50 Shades. Yeah. And then the first MC books were probably the Jean St. James. Yeah. I read a lot of her books. Yeah. Motorcycle Romance. They were the first MC romances I read, which I loved. But yeah, I think it was good old E.L. James.
Yeah. I loved Twilight. She's from my home state. That's where she's from, so that's why we learned about her pretty quick when her books came out. But I love the books.
Big Twilight girls. Oh yeah.
I'll have to share a tidbit at the end after we're done recording then about that. So how has the process changed for you from when you published your first book to now? Have you changed a lot in how you do things?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah. And it changes all the time. Like, it really does. Yeah. Like, just everything changes. When you think you've got something right, it changes. It's kind of like an algorithm, you know? Yeah. It's up and down. Yeah. There's so many layers that people don't see that's behind the scenes. Like, there's a lot that goes on. But it's ever changing, honestly, and you've got to kind of adapt, or you kind of get left behind. But you know, like even cover designers and things, like usually change it every series just to keep it fresh and different. So, but I mean, that's the fun part. It's not all bad. It's like mainly good.
I feel like you have to wear so many different hats as an indie author. You know, because you're like your marketing department, your finance department, your all of the different departments.
You're kind of like it for everything, ain't you? Pretty much. The go-to person is me.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could go back in time and see your younger writing selves, would there be anything you'd tell yourself, knowing what you know now?
I probably would have done it way sooner. I would say go for it. Absolutely, just do it, because you've really got nothing to lose. You know, especially like now that
indie publishing is a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas 20 years ago,
it
wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
There was no Kindles.
That's right. So it
just
has evolved in that regard and made it a lot easier.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think. But I would say just
don't be afraid.
don't be afraid.
Just try.
Don't
wait so long to
and just working for other people and all that kind of stuff.
That's great. That's really, really great.
Jump in with both feet.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's good advice. Just to not, I think we all live with that fear, that imposter syndrome, that to not do something.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely a real thing.
Oh, for sure.
I suffer with it all the time.
Yeah. And you end up not doing what you're passionate about, because you get stuck in the daily grind and doing the job, you have to earn money and stuff, and people forget about their dreams and their passions, and that's really sad.
Be brave.
Or just do it on the side. Do little bits, like what Mackenzie. I mean, when
she was still working
full time, and she wrote at night, and she just did whatever she could, work so hard, and that's what I say to anyone: just do it on the side, just do little bits, and just keep building on it.
Something,
and
then nothing.
Yeah, and then eventually,
it
just takes a bit of time, but it all comes together.
Yeah, I love that. So do you read reviews from books, or do you kind of avoid them?
We kind of do when the first release, don't we?
Yeah, when arcs and stuff go out, I'll read the reviews, and then probably for about a week, but then after that I stop reading reviews.
Yeah. I tend to kind of stay away, and I just let Mackenzie sort of tell me or deal with it, and she'll show me stuff, but I don't really go looking too much at reviews. It makes me nervous. So I leave that to but after a while I just don't go look.
I've heard that, just that first few weeks with arcs, and then we're good over there.
For a while.
Did you have any series that you really loved as a child, like a book that you can remember that you really enjoyed when you were younger?
We used to read all the Roald Dahl kind of books.
And Sweet Valley High.
Yeah, we grew up in England. Yeah, Sweet Valley High. Yeah, we love that series. Yeah, we used to have all the Roald Dahl books and Enid Blyton and stuff like that. We grew up with all those kind of books, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But then when we were kind of teenagers, then it was Sweet Valley High. Yeah,
all the way. We had all the books.
It's
bringing back a memory.
I know. What happened to those?
I read that series too. I think that was the quintessential story series for sure.
Yeah.
They were the old California girls, weren't
kind
they?
of a rite of passage for
I know.
the 80s, 90s.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So do you know your love language, and do you try to incorporate that into your novels?
Yeah, I think so. I think we write with passion. We write from the heart, don't we?
Yeah.
I think that kind of stands out in the books. I think it does, but that's what we do. We write from the heart. So
even with Manny's book, when I first started writing it, I'm I want to do a good job, and this is really different. It's MMF. What are people going to think? And da da da. And then I'm I just have to calm down and go, what you always do.
Yeah.
Just write the story, write the emotion, go through it, and that's kind of what I just did. So I'm pressure's on, but
no, it was good. It was really good. Oh, for sure.
You did very well.
Yes, you did it justice, for sure. I know from the other ARC readers that everybody's oh. So I think when I finished it, I wrote you, and I was oh my God, this was so good.
That was so nice to hear.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, for sure. I feel the book community is always very welcoming and very inclusive, and we just want to support everybody, and we just love. So that's always a good thing. So do you have anything that's unique or quirky about you guys that we maybe don't know?
Ooh. Unique or quirky.
Ooh.
That's like a whole personality summed up. Sorry, something just popped up on our screen. There we go. I guess that we are pretty quiet, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are pretty introverted. But I know I said
that's
before,
quirky.
Yeah.
Or a hobby have that's other than writing?
Yeah, what do we do when we're not writing?
I know. I'm a yoga teacher when I'm not writing.
So that's something a bit, people don't realise. Yeah. It's a bit out there.
So it is a bit out there. So I teach like 4 or 5 classes a week. So that's a good little outlet from getting away from the computer and something completely different. So
yeah,
and it's a good for your mindset too. Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie comes to all my classes, so she does.
I'm like her
she
assistant.
participates. Yeah, she's like.
That's great. So that's really great for supporting each other, and like you were saying, you went with her to be helping her when she went to Scotland, all that. Like that's great that you guys are have each other's back.
Unique thing about us is we always have each other's backs, and we always have each other to talk to and bounce ideas
we can trust
off
each other, and
it's just really works. Like, I mean, we do fight now and again.
We have a moment.
We have discussions
at length.
Discussions at length. Yeah.
Intense disagreements.
Yeah.
But we always make up. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful. So it sounds like when you finish a book, you jump right into the next one. But do you guys ever do anything to like unwind and reset?
We haven't really we haven't really this year too much, have we? No, not really. But we will take we like to walk our dogs, and that's like our thing.
We do that daily,
yeah.
Like usually twice a day if we can.
Yeah. Or we'll go and we're going to have lunch maybe this week to kind of celebrate Manny.
Yeah.
So we'll go do that and have a nice lunch and take my mum and
just go out and
chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll take the dogs for a drive or something, or just go somewhere different and just usually involves our dogs.
Yeah.
That's what relaxes. Like, I love being with them.
Yeah, we go to the beach. The dogs love the beach, so it's really good to clear your head. And because we live really close to the beach here, so
we're very lucky.
We're right on the coast. We're so lucky. We've got beautiful beaches, and it's just nice to be, near the water. And it's chill a little bit. Chill out. Get away from your desk.
Your computer.
Get out. Shift your mindset for sure. It definitely can give you a whole new idea of something when you get out of where you are always sitting and living in it. So
yeah, exactly. It's so true. And often when we're walking the dogs, we'll just be chatting. We're not always talking about books, but sometimes we'll just be chatting about
an idea.
We'll go, I just thought of this great thing, or I saw something and it made me think of this idea. And so sometimes we just bat things out.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, we do a bit of brainstorming on our walks. Yeah.
Yeah. So since it is the holidays, I always like to ask, do you have any traditions that you do around this time of year?
Well, Em likes to make Christmas fettuccine.
Yes, I do on Christmas Eve.
So she'll be making that on Christmas Eve.
I like to bake cookies.
She loves baking. And we decorate pretty crazy.
We do decorate. We love, as you can see.
As you can see. I do have my Christmas.
I love it.
We'll tilt the screen. You can see this. See the Christmas.
Yeah, I love that.
And we'll watch a holiday movie probably on Christmas Eve. So just those kind of things, just something fun and a bit lighthearted. Yeah. We might go and watch some Christmas lights with some amazing houses around where we live.
Yeah.
And they post it up on the community pages, which houses to go and see that have got the best lights. So we're going to get a little nap and we'll probably drive around with the dogs.
So neighborhood events and Christmas lights, that's my favorite part, other than spending time with your family, but you get to see other people's creativity and how they're welcoming. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really
nice. It just makes you happy seeing all the lights and it's feel good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Definitely, for sure. So, what plans are you allowed to share with us for future projects or books we get to see?
We're still umming and ahhing if what we're going to co-write next year, aren't we? Because I know she's concentrating on finishing her Nola Rebels.
Yeah.
So I'll have Hustler's book in February. That'll be the next MC. And then I've probably got maybe another 4 books to go in the MC, and then I'll be going on to something else. I've got my final hockey. I've started writing that, so it'll be book 4 in my Seattle Hawks. So that will come out. I haven't got it up or anything yet, like the pre-order, but that will be sometime early next year, maybe February, March, maybe. And then we're in discussions about. Our readers want more small town. They want more characters that have been name dropped. Because we've opened it up in the last Bassett book, Georgia Bruin Hudson. We've opened it up for like more characters in another series, in a spin-off. Yeah. So we're in talks currently, but honestly, we honestly don't know. No, but our joint books, do we? We'll probably do something for Christmas next year.
We'll definitely.
I was going to ask if you're going to do another Christmas one. That one was so cute.
Yeah, we definitely will have another Christmas book of some sort. Always, yes. Yeah, they're cute. They're kind of short stories.
Covers,
they're the cartoon covers, and they just make me happy to look at them. They're just, I don't know, they're just fun.
Yeah. No, it was just like I said, it was like a spicy Hallmark. It was great. Yeah. it was so great.
They're so much fun to write.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's got the feel-good vibes. He doesn't love the holidays. Like,
Exactly. And I like when they're shorter and then you can read them. So you can do which was what I kind of did. And I posted that book actually on my 12 Days of Christmas post. And I'm going to do another 12 Days of Christmas. And one of your other books is going to be in that one because I've been reading the other series, the ones before the one I just read. And so they're great because you can do each night of Christmas, you can read a different short story and have a book. So
that's so cool.
I love it. Yeah, that's why I love finding the little novellas because they're just they just make you feel good for a little bit and then you can keep going. So
and it doesn't take long to get through them.
Yeah, exactly. So my last question would be, what message do you want readers to take away after finishing your books?
I like your questions. I know, they're good questions. Do you have an answer? What do you want them to take away? I think we just kind of want them to enjoy it, I guess. That's the main thing, isn't it? And hopefully it takes them to another world. When we're writing it, we're really in that moment and we kind of just hope that our readers, take something away from that. Maybe it takes them away from something they might be going through in their lives and that kind of thing. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's just to give people that outlet, and then like I say, when you get messages, we just love all the messages and comments that we get. It's so nice when people reach out, and
it is. It's really amazing.
Tell you they enjoyed something, so you're like, oh, my little book,
Yeah, for sure. For me, with that series, I do a feature on Fridays called Fangirl Fridays, and I featured the Bassett brothers on that, because I was just I'm totally in love with this series. So
it's definitely one of my favorites. They were so easy to write.
We loved writing it, honestly.
They were we just laughed so much, especially the last books. There was a lot of banter in back and forth banter between the two. And Georgia Blues writing the Mechanical Moose, and it's just it's just a lot of fun. You get to have a lot of fun. Trust me, there's a lot of fun writing it as much as you guys reading it. So
yeah, no, that's great. I loved her. I love banter. That's my favorite part of a book is the back and forth. They had it in spades in that book, so it was so good.
Games they each had, and it's they just throw it back to each other, and it's you guys.
That's great. Well, congratulations on Manny being released today and Snowed Under last month. And I am looking forward to all of the future books coming out. And I'm actually back reading some of the books that I didn't know about or hadn't had a chance to get to. So Thank you for joining me today. It was so nice to talk to both of you and making time to speak to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
There's quite a big time difference, so we really do appreciate you. You're
getting up early.
We're up late. You're up early, but we appreciate it. So thank you for being, being so awesome. For inviting us along and for reading.
Yes. Yes. So I'm a small business owner, and you guys are small businesses, and so I always like to promote that because, like you said, you're the one person, and you do all the things, and so that's why I really started this channel was because I wanted to highlight an indie author, and maybe if somebody's like me who's fangirling gets to hear more about their favorite author, or if it's somebody they've never met, they get to see this plethora of books that they've never heard of and get to go down a rabbit hole of reading them all. So I really like to do that. So I appreciate you being on.
Thank you. It's so fun.
So please like and subscribe. If you have a book bestie that you think would enjoy this content, please share it. And then I've linked below their Instagrams and how to find them and their books, so you can check them out. And I hope you enjoyed this special episode of Bookish Lady Night. And be sure to join us tomorrow as we get another look behind the book. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.